And I want to check a couple of things with you today. So, okay. Chloe. Vale. So we were supposed to have finished the poetry of Góngora and Quevedo. Do you have any, can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
See? Do you have any questions regarding that section? No? Okay. I asked you to do the, oh. Okay, let me refresh the page. I asked you to do the literary comment, and I'm still working on that because normally we do that in class. So I'll give you the written version of the work analysis today or tomorrow. But I want to make sure that it's completely clear so that you know the right answer, okay? Good job with the Twitter activity. I really, really enjoyed it.
It was fun. I like that.
Muy bien. And it seems like simple and maybe silly, but in every answer that you gave, you included some information about the type of literature and about the style and about the relationship. So it was good to read. Muy bien. So as I said, I'll give you the answer to the work analysis and I'll post it here on the section, okay? Bien. And then we should have done also the Don Quixote section. I wanted to discuss a few things with you the other day, but only 2 people showed up. So I thought we would leave it for today. So we're going to discuss that, so we leave it for later. And you were supposed to be starting with Lorca. Do you have any questions? Lorca?
Oh, do we do the Nearpod? Do we do that in class?
Which one?
The Nearpod activities.
Mm-hmm. We are going. We were supposed to do that last week, but since only 2 people were here, I thought it would be more profitable if there were more. And we're going to do that today, but I leave it open in CLM Virtual in case you want to participate any other time.
Okay, but so normally should we not do them out of class?
No, you can participate anytime.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, because I already did it.
Yeah. If you do, we can discuss it. If you don't, you can participate while we are discussing it.
Okay, because I was doing the Don Quixote one, and I was the only answers for everything, and I was like, I think this is
because you're the good one in class. Vale. So as I was saying, do you have any questions for Lorca? It's a very deep, intense type of reading, I know. Did you get the chance to read The House of Bernard Alba? No? It's only like 50 pages, and it's a play, so it's easy to read. But as I said, it's quite intense. Not difficult to understand because it's in English, so you understand the words, but maybe the message, it's a bit complicated. So I have some comprehension questions that are there for you to check while you're reading it, in case you want to see what you should be focusing on. But you don't have to answer them, you don't have to send them to me, you don't have to do anything with them, okay? It's like one of those type of questions that you find at the end of some books that you have in class, ¿vale? So you have some introduction question, group discussion, final discussion, one of these Nearpods, And then the poetry that I left as optional. Really, really interesting and also quite intense in the style of Lorca. So if you want to have a look at it, you're more than welcome. Okay? Bien? ¿Sí? Vale. As of today, I'm going, you can see this happy guy here. As for today, I'm going to open all the sections, okay? So that you can see everything that we should do until the end of the course. You have until the end of the semester to finish them all. But I wanted to tell you in advance so that you are not confused. So from today on, I'm going to have all the sections open so that you can see everything, and then you can get organized the way you prefer. Okay, you don't have to do them, you don't have to work on them. It's just going to be there for you to know what we should be doing and for you to get organized in the way you prefer to get yourself organized. ¿Vale? Bien. And did you have a look at this section? Who's Brandon? Sorry, some Brandon wanted to join our session. Did you have a look at this section? Presentations? Yes?
No.
No. Okay, if you click here, it will take you, sorry. Let me see. Here, okay. Who is in here?
Me. Yeah.
Anonymous, whatever. An anonymous shape.
That's me.
Vale. Bien, so you have all the options. You can read all the instructions on your own. And basically, you just need to sign up for one of the options. You can work individually if you prefer, so in pairs or small groups. Maximum 4 or 5 people. And for each of the options, you need to do like one video presentation for the class to see it the day of the presentation. And you can decide which way you want to do it. And it has to be accompanied by one evaluation paper. One per person, one per pair, one per group. If you're working on a group, you don't need to send me 5 different evaluation papers. Okay? Bien. I wrote to you my email address because I had to change it. I needed an alternative email because mine is completely full. So you need to do the same type of email, but you need to use the Go version, okay? mariaef@go.ugres. Okay? Got it. So we are going to have the presentation on the 12th of May, the same way we are doing our class today. And the idea is not like to read or to do something very perfect using the right words, but it's more like a lively type of thing, okay? It's important to write your name on any document that you send me, because when you send split, doesn't say a lot about who sent the task or anything, so I need to file it on a different, under a different name. And well, you have all the options here, just 2 maximum per option, 2 groups, 2 people, 2 pairs, so that not everyone does the same type of project, okay? So you just sign up in whatever you prefer to do, like you can adapt a text, you can sing if you're good at singing, you can do a dramatic performance, you can imitate the style of a writer, you can create a video clip of a scene, We've kind of done that, but you can also like update the social media profile of one of the writers or characters. You can create a yearbook. It can include characters, different characters from the same book or different characters from different books combined, or authors. You can cast a group for the film version of one of the works. You can do your collection of memes, and you can write the personal diary of a writer or a poet that we have also covering class. I always leave a section open called others in case you have an idea, in case you have something else that I haven't thought of, and just share it with me and say, Maria, what do you think if I do this or that? And as usual, any ideas are welcome. Okay, anyone, any questions so far?
So we have to have a video and a paper, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Per person, per pair, or per group? See, at the end of this type of instructions, you need some guidelines to what the evaluation paper should include. Basically, it's a description of your project, okay? But I wanted to make sure that you knew a little bit about what I wanted. More questions? Nope? Vale. So let's have a look at some of the activities that I had ready for you today. Vale. So on the 23rd of April is we celebrate Books Day, International Books Day. Do you have that in the States? No? Maybe it's international except the US, I don't know. Okay, we call it International Books Day. So that day we normally buy or give a book as a present to anyone we love or we like. In Catalonia, they also buy a rose together with the book, okay? And it's a tradition that every year, we couldn't do that today, this year in Spain, but every year, people from all over the country or anybody that happens to be in Madrid are allowed to read a fragment of the book Don Quixote. Okay, it's placed in one of the most important and cultural buildings in Madrid. So everybody's kind of lining up and they are having turns to read different fragments of the book. So famous people go there, regular people go there, and everybody has the option, since it's a long, long book, to read a small fragment, okay? So what I did for you today was to show you one of my kids reading a short passage of one of the sections from the book Don Quixote as well, okay? It's in Spanish. So let's see what you can understand. Don't worry if you don't. Voy.
De valientes corazones es Señor mío tener sufrimiento en las desgracias como de alegría en la esperar.
Did you understand something? Okay. Wait. These are the words.
Donde valientes corazones es Señor mío tener sufrimiento en las desgracias como de alegría en las cortes hospedales.
Can you understand any of the words? No? Vale. This is what it says. So basically, I wanted to share this quote with you because it's, given the situation, it's fine that we feel upset and we can show our emotions, and it's fine not to feel super happy because it's not a super happy situation. So Sancho already said that in the 17th century. So when things go well, we can be happy. But when things don't go that well, we can also be sad, and it's fine. Okay. So I encourage you, if you want to, completely optional, to find a quote that you would like from Don Quixote and share it with me. Okay. Vale.
Where do you want us to share that?
Yeah. Hola, Chloe. See? So if you want like a short, that was like 2 lines, like a short passage that calls your attention from any of the fragments that we have read, or a different one that you may have found in the study of the world, up to you and completely optional, but I would like to see it if you have the time.
Would you want us to just post that in like the coffee room or one of those places?
Muy bien. Vale? And I think we have like 10 minutes left. So sorry for, for the people that have just joined, but we are going to close the session and start a new one, okay? Vale? And it's better so that we don't have to interrupt the activity in the middle of it, vale? So I'll see you in like a second. Vale, so we can just start with the activity and then see if Alison will join us in the meantime. Alisa, sorry. Anyone in contact with her?
I just texted her and said it's the same link. Hopefully she reads it.
Vale, so everyone is here now. Vale. Remember how this works? Yeah? You need to go to Nearpod. Do you see the code at the top of the screen? See? Vale.
Where is the code?
I'm going to write it to you in the chat room.
Okay.
Is it the same Nearpod from the class page?
Yes. Can you all access it? But in the meantime, I guess we can share some of the information like we did the other day. Vale. If you write your name at the end of each intervention, it's a good thing because I don't know who writes everything. So most of you said it's a good example to believe in yourself. Can you explain a little bit?
I think that, I don't know, when I was reading the story, I really loved Don Quixote's personality. I thought it was really like cool and beautiful that he had such an imaginative spirit, and like he just, I don't know, I thought it was really creative, and I thought that it was a good example in some ways to allow yourself to be guided by that side of your brain. But he was so involved in that side that he kind of didn't see the point of view of others, and like he kind of lost touch of, I don't know, he wasn't as grounded, so in some ways it wasn't a good example.
Yeah. Somebody said self-confidence is great, but too much of anything is not good in nature. Anybody here that said that?
That was me.
So can you?
Oh, do I have to explain it? Self-confidence is good. It's always good to be confident and reassuring of yourself to get you through life. But if you're too confident, then you come off as cocky and rub people the wrong way. And I think it could get you into some sticky situations.
Vale. For most of you, I think it's a good example. Muy bien. Vale. I think I agree with you. Like, sometimes, as Mateo said, it can be perceived differently. But at the same time, I think that if you don't believe in yourself, like, who is going to? Like, you need to have your own personality, and you need to be trusting in your own instincts so that you can also connect with others. Okay, vale. Let's see the other one. You'll think is, vale. Who wrote the first one? Was it you, Anna?
Yeah.
Vale, so he believes in him, is a good friend. What else?
I don't like it. He was just like he always kind of just let Don Quixote be himself, which I thought was awesome. Like he didn't, like even though he knew what was actual, like he knew that it was just a windmill, he didn't necessarily like make fun of Don Quixote or like berate him or anything. Like he kind of allowed him to have this like romanticized chivalry adventure and just kind of like was along for the fun of it. Like he was just being like a good friend and like partner.
Vale. From what you say, basically it's you all agree that he doesn't try to stop Don Quixote from being himself. That's a good point, Coco. And that he's not judgmental. I think that's the key to their friendship. Like they don't judge each other, they accept each other, and that's why they are so good for each other, because they complement each other. Muy bien. Vale. Also, Ian said that he made sure that he didn't get into much trouble. He was more successful sometimes than others. Has anyone here read the whole story or the book?
I did a couple years ago.
Vale. Full version or an adapted version?
An adapted version, but it was more than what we read for class.
Vale. It's something we have to read. It's a mandatory reading for all Spanish kids. But I think I read it when I was 14. And I don't think you understand very much the meaning of Don Quixote when you are 14.
Yeah, I think I like spark noted it. I was in high school and I didn't read it and like understand it that much. I just kind of like,
yeah, whatever. Yeah.
yeah.
Cool that they had you reading that in high school though, because I had never heard of it until I like went to Spain.
Muy bien.
So.
Vale, vale. Let's see the next one. Hopefully. There it is. Vale. Because the point for this question, I think I was discussing this with Coco and Judy the other time. If it wasn't for this type of jokes that Don Quixote, that the author of Don Quixote, Cervantes, does, it would happen the same as with Lazarillo. It would be too dramatic, too sad. So we need to find different examples where he's badly treated and he is he has like again this misadventure, but sometimes we laugh with it, and it's this laugh that we have while we read that makes us want to know more and to read more. And connected to that, I ask you, like, why do you think we sometimes laugh at others when they are in pain, like when they fall on the street? Okay. Life should not be taken seriously. Muy bien. Vale. The surprise. A ver. Sometimes I think you don't even know why you laugh. Like, you know, your friend is like on the floor and you want to help them, but at the same time you can't stop laughing. Okay. Muy bien. Vale. This is an important question. What do you think that this battle represents? And again, you were the first one.
Yeah. I think this was the first time in the text that we read where we were introduced to like one of the like illusions that he had, and he thought that the windmills were these monsters in Greek mythology or some mythology, I can't remember, but like he called them a certain name, and like we really just saw that how deeply serious his illusions were, that he like believed that they were real, genuinely, as like enough to go fight the windmills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Vale. Who wrote the second one?
The second one?
Mm-hmm. The second one?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you describe it a little bit?
It was just like, I think the battle really represented how deep set his illusions were, because I don't think I know anyone that would charge at a windmill and think that it was a giant. So I think it kind of just really shows you like how he really like his perception. It also shows like his chivalry. So
Vale. The third one? No one? Fourth? Your third, Mateo?
Oh, you're talking to me. I said the major life obstacles in one's life. I don't know. I was kind of just winging it. Just,
Mm-hmm. Vale.
connecting something to something.
Vale. Fourth?
That one was mine.
Vale.
Kind of the same thing. I thought that it really showed like the first examples of his delusions and like how overly confident he was in trying to fight them.
Vale. Cinco? Number 5?
Yeah, that was me. I agree with what everyone's saying about how it's like focusing on his delusions about what his reality is, but I also think it's focusing on like his desire to be this like heroic version of himself that's idealized for the time period.
Muy bien. What about the next?
I think I read that one.
What do you think?
Yeah, just kind of what everyone else is saying, and it's like a good illusion of how crazy he's being, but also like how sometimes the smallest things in life become such a large deal and kind of consume you. And I think it also just represents how, I mean, he wasn't being that crazy, but he was just having a lot of disillusions of his life.
Vale. We'll talk about that. There is a question about craziness and madness and all that. Who wrote the last one? Ian. Muy bien.
Yeah, it's kind of an extension of what like Coco was saying. How he creates this enemy of the windmills in order to create like the idea of him being a hero, and I think like you can kind of see that in the mindset of like basically everyone who engages in some kind of like us versus them like mindset in like all different varieties of groups and stuff.
Vale. So basically it's a mixture of everything you're just saying, like his disillusion, his illusions, his need to be a hero, to be considered a hero, to fight. But basically, why does he need to do all that? Why does he need to be a hero? Why does he need to fight giants? Why does he does whatever he does? What it's basically representing is his battle with life, with the life that he has, that represented the disillusion of the time, of the Baroque time period. He's in his house, he's in his 50s. 50s in the 17th century was almost close to death. So he decides to have a different life. And these windmills come to represent basically like fight for whatever you think is right, regardless of the possible consequences. So it shows that he's not scared, that even though he thought, or he might have thought, that they were giants, he went for them, even if he probably knew that he was going to lose, but he still went for that fight. So it shows his strength and his will to change his life, basically. Okay? Bien. Also an important question, like, why do you think that he needs to die? Why didn't Cervantes just leave it there when he went back home, and he could have had a happy life, and they all lived happily ever after and all that? Anna says, I don't know. Okay. I don't love the ending.
That one actually wasn't me.
Are you?
That was me. I said that.
Vale. So Athena said, I don't know. I didn't like the ending. Vale. Bien. So let's see what you have to say. You can just speak and while somebody else writes. So Coco, why didn't you like the ending so much?
I think it's just like, I don't know, I never really like it when it ends with like the main character who you've been rooting for like dying. I just think it's kind of morbid, but I think that's the point that the author's trying to get across, is that the most realistic ending for a story is the death of the main character. And since it deals with like reality and Don Quixote's difficulty with grasping reality for the whole story, it's kind of like that final reality that everyone has to face, that he too has to face, even as like this larger than life character.
I have a question for you all. Do you see it? Philosophical? This changes everything. So what happens at the end? Don Quixote goes back home. He seems to be wounded and tired, and we already mentioned he was kind of old for the 17th century. So what happens in the very, very end?
I just wrote that I don't like the ending because he dies, and because he like switches back to like this reality version of himself, and like the young adventurous personality that he created for himself, like he kind of lets go of that. But now I kind of feel like the reason he did that is because Don Quixote can't die. Like he's like this adventurous created spirit, and so, but like him himself was actually ready to die. So to be able to do that, he had to be, I forget what he called himself.
His name was Alonso Quijano.
Oh yeah. I feel like he had to be Alonso to die because Don Quixote is like this invincible spirit.
So that's the point, basically. Like seconds before he dies, he goes back to his senses. He said, oh, sorry for all the things that I did. And then you're kind of disappointed because it's like, but we have been reading all these adventures and you have been convincing us of this new person that is Don Quixote. And it happens the same, not just for the reader, but for the rest of the characters. Like, why, Don Quixote, you cannot say that. Please, we all loved the way you were and all that. But by doing that, what Cervantes did was to kill the person, but not the character. So it's what you just said, Anna. So it's Don Quixote cannot die. So by saying, I'm going back to being who I was, the person that dies is the original person, Don Alonso Quijano, but not the character that he had created that will live forever. ¿Vale? One less philosophical reason for Cervantes to kill the main character is because this other person, using an anonymous name, was starting to write and publish alternative adventures because the book has had already been so famous. So he was writing fake adventures and publishing them and getting money out of them. So the only way that Cervantes had to stop that from happening was to kill Don Quixote. Okay, so Don Quixote has to die because somebody else is writing the other stories. Don Quixote has to die because it kind of goes with the idea of the disillusion of the Baroque time period, but also he made it in a way that by killing the person, he will kill the person, but not the character. Okay? So he kind of needs to kill the person, so he came out with this solution, like I will kill Don Alonso, but not Don Quixote. Okay?
That makes me like the ending a lot better.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's when you don't understand, it's like, really? Vale. Muy bien. So this is also connected with the way we perceive Don Quixote. And I told you from the very beginning, it's not just this crazy person that does crazy things. Okay? Nobody else is perfect. Vale. Different masks. Muy bien. Well, we could be discussing success. What's success? Vale. So about the concept of reality. This is connected with everything we have been saying. Don Quixote was not happy with his own reality. He was an old person that had led a very regular, normal life, and he was fed up with that life. So he wanted to change his life. He wanted to change his reality. He wanted to do something else. And even though he was 50, everybody told him not to because it was not sensible to do. He just didn't listen, and he just followed his heart, and he just wanted to do whatever he wanted to do. Okay? Vale. So, again, if you want to do something that is not supposed, what you are doing in general in society, then sometimes people tell you you're crazy. Vale. You more or less agree as well. So what happens when you are out of the norm? When you don't do what you are supposed to or what you are expected to?
Well, you're considered different and kind of like, I don't know, like a rogue kind of
Outsider.
social norm kind of thing.
Weird.
People don't see that as usually positive.
So who says what is right and wrong?
I think societies put a lot of restrictions on what's right and wrong, and totally depends on how you grew up too, and what different privileges you had or what different cultural situations you had. And I don't think people like to see different people do things different ways. I think it makes them uncomfortable, even though it should be celebrated, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think as we grow older, we realize that being different, it's not that bad. But as you're growing up, you want to fit in, you want to be accepted, and it's more difficult to be yourself sometimes. ¿Vale? Muy bien. Muy bien. Was it you, Anna, or not?
No.
That was me.
Muy bien. Muy bien. So if I had all the money and all that, I would decide to go on a trip, like with no end, and be a professional tourist. And then I would be able to visit every country and every culture and enjoy that culture and that country. Vale. Has anyone told you that you were crazy because you wanted to do something? No? I think I told you about this one at the beginning of the course when I said no to a bank job. Like I was supposed to get a lot of money out of that job, but I knew I wouldn't be happy working in a bank. Good. Bien. So, what do you think about this one? Was he crazy or not?
He was schizophrenic, I think. Is that the right word?
Vale.
I think.
In
But
today's
think
society, he would
sorry.
be scared.
Say again?
Oh, sorry. In today's like reality, I feel like that he would be considered schizophrenic. I agree with Ian.
Mm-hmm.
Or I feel like he could be considered like narcissistic.
Yeah.
He just, the way he exaggerates his reality seems like he's just completely like full of himself.
Okay. But I also think that this is the 17th century and they didn't know about being schizophrenic or being bipolar or being any of those things. So I think what Cervantes was trying to show is that even if you are considered crazy, with such like exaggerated situations, they need to be comic, otherwise it would be too tragic. Even if you are considered crazy, you need to pursue your dreams. And if you want to change your reality, go for it. Even if you're 50 in the 17th century, like don't worry to pursue your dreams. It's what you need to do. So by showing these exaggerated type of situations, he makes us enjoy them, but at the same time, the message is very powerful. It's follow your dreams, no matter what. Okay? So it's not that he was crazy, it's that he wasn't doing what everybody told him to do. And that also is connected with our idea of reality. What's reality? It's what I see or what you see. We don't perceive things the same way. So who says that what I am perceiving it's right or wrong? Okay. So I think I have a couple of more questions. So what's the message? I think I already told you. You can just say it.
Well, to be yourself, even if it defies the social norms.
Yeah. So basically, again, it's this idea of pursue your dream no matter what. And if people tell you that you're crazy, but you believe in your own dreams, go ahead. Okay, you don't necessarily need to be successful according to society, but if you're happy and it makes you happy, why not? Okay. Oops, sorry. So that's basically the idea. So I wanted to insist on this idea that it's not this story about this crazy man that is trying to do these eccentric type of things that we don't understand. This is just the metaphor. This is just the exaggeration of the situation. But the message is still the same one. Okay? Vale. So, you have any more questions, chicos? No? I think, before I forget, next week it's going to be a revision session as well. So make sure that if you have any question regarding any of the sections, because I'm going to have them open by now, make sure that you write them down and we can share all those questions. Okay? Vale, and I think before we leave, it would be a good ending if we all sang happy birthday to you. Belated. See? Let me find the music. And that way we can all kind of sing along.
When I was, my sister's in an online class, and she got them all to sing happy birthday for me. And since it was through Zoom, it was like everyone was out of time, and it was like just this whole mess. So yeah, give it a shot. I'm excited.
Well, even if it doesn't work, I think it's worth a try. Venga.
Are you singing? I'm confused. Oh.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Thank you all. Oh, how stressful.
But I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Bueno, chicos, muchas gracias. And I'll see you on Monday at the same time. Okay? If you have any other questions, you know, CLM Virtual.
Yeah.
¿Vale?
Yes.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Maria, I have a question for you really fast.
Okay.
Did you get a chance to look at me and Alyssa's final project of the
Of the what? Tension?
our resume for Lazarillo?
Yeah, I had a look at it, but very quickly I didn't make any comments because I didn't have a look at it like in
I just wanted to make sure that you saw it, that
Yeah.
I put it on. Okay, thank you so much.
Gracias.
Chao, adiós, chicas.